everybody's thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not ready. But I want you to know you are more ready than you think. Having this checklist will really help you out with that. So, best selling book launch. This is a checklist. Items with an asterisk are optional based on your needs. For example, you might not be ordering print copies of books if you're not doing offset printing. Okay. So, we're going to talk about your ebook launch. Then we're going to talk about the print book launch. And I do recommend that ebook comes first and then the print, and then post launch, some of the things that you need to be doing. Okay. So let's get started. First and foremost, a lot of these things that are here, you guys have been doing this. You've been doing lots of preparations. For example, we've talked about building launch teams. I put here, target 100 plus. I would love it if you got 100 or more people on your launch team, because about half of them will probably follow through and give you those reviews that you want or need. Some of them won't be able to because for one reason or another, they'll have problems on Amazon. Others will just forget or they'll be late in doing it. So if you can get 100 people on a launch team, you can usually get around 50 or more reviews. And that's going to be really important for social proof. We've all been talking about building your list. Even if you don't have an email list gathering kind of tool, you can still use something as simple as Google Forms. So it doesn't have to be high tech, but we do need to build that platform. And Sue just talked about the fact that she scheduled her ebook promo. I would say usually 3 or 4 weeks ahead is what's required in order for you to get the date that you're looking for launching. Next, we've got creating content. So regardless of whether you're doing a Kickstarter or whether you're launching your book, planning to create the content that you need. And the content is going to depend on your marketing plan, right? If you're going to be doing things like a lot of local events, you're going to do school visits, you're going to need to do other things. You'll be ordering things like bookmarks and tablecloths and tables and things like that. And there's email communication and there's social media. And the worst thing you can do is save it for the last minute, because then you're going to be scrambling, and the level of stress that goes up during that launch week when you're trying to run around and get a lot of things done at that 11th hour. So do yourself a favor, create the content you need based on how you want to market the book before launch, and just have those things. You can even schedule them ahead of time. Okay. And then we started, I had you guys move into Amazon and Ingram Spark set up, because again, I wanted things to be relatively close to ready so that when you get your files, you're just dropping the files in and it'll be much easier. So try to get that out of the way. Ordering proofs. This is an important thing before you go live. A proof copy is something that once you've got your files up, you can order a proof copy. It's an author copy. You'll get an opportunity to actually hold a copy in your hands, make sure everything looks good. You should order one from Amazon, order one from Ingram Spark, and just make sure that you get 2 thumbs up and that it's in a condition that you are ready to move forward with. Editorial reviews and testimonials. Why might these be important? If you are launching something, for example, I had one author that launched an adoption book, and she had testimonials from the heads of adoption agencies and adoptive parents and adoptees. So you can imagine that the social proof that comes, those kinds of reviews, goes a long way as well. So again, just ahead of time, you don't have to wait until your book's launched, but reach out to people ahead of time and say, this is what I'm working on. I'm expecting to be ready to start sending out advanced reader copies around this date. I would be so honored if you would consider reading the book and letting me know what you think. That's a very easy way to say things, an easy way to start getting some of that feedback early and encouraging them to go ahead and post that review for you. We go to copyright with illustrations. So I put an asterisk there because some of you may be working with illustrators that are not giving you the copyright for the illustration. So if you've already done a copyright on the words, you don't need to do a second one on the illustrations. So this is for those of you that are getting ready to go live. You wouldn't want to publish without doing that copyright if you do own the illustrations. And then keyword and category analysis. Who hasn't answered already? What do you think would be beneficial about keyword and category analysis prior to book launch?
So both keywords and categories have their own special meaning in Amazon, and everybody enters a keyword to find your book. And so it's extremely important that you find the best words that apply to your book that's going to make your book shine or show up, and really in the same in the categories, and just nailing those down to where if somebody's looking for my book, they'll find it because of the keyword or the category.
Okay, what else about categories? Does anybody have another important thing about categories that can help you during launch?
You can be a bestseller in categories that you choose for.
That's right. How many categories are you allowed when you go live?
10.
You guys got this. See, everybody's thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not ready. But I want you to know you are more ready than you think. Having this checklist will really help you out with that. So now review and approve the proof we already talked about. Media, PR, and publicity. I wrapped those all together in order to support your launch. Tell me what you've got planned. How will that help your book launch?
We've got a little local newspaper here that goes out to 3 counties. So I definitely want to give them my press kit. But we also have 2 Northeast Arkansas that are distributed. Every business has them. And I want to submit those and see about doing an interview, or at least showing them who I am and see if they're interested in lining that up. I don't know when that's going to happen yet, but that's kind of what I've got going on.
Nice. You're on the right track. It would be wonderful if you could do 3. Even better, like extra gold star, if you can reach out to 5. Even if only 1 or 2 covers your book launch, that's huge. We talked about the fact that it can get overwhelming as you're preparing for book launch. But if you reach out and do 1 contact a day, it could be 1 influencer. It could be just stopping by the local bookstore. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. You don't have to have a list of 50 people to contact each day. That's an easy way to burn out. What else? Anybody else have ideas? Let's brainstorm a little bit about PR and media to support your book launch.
So I end up joining this local beekeeping club, and we have our first meeting this Sunday. So I'm going, and I'm hoping just to use it to network a little bit and to learn more about bees for my 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and just to garner a little bit of support there. And I also have joined like the local farmers market circuit, and I signed up for every single market this year. There's 18, and then I signed up for a few in the community over. I had so much fun at the Christmas markets. I got lots and lots of support. They featured me on their Facebook page, like Tiny Robot Publishing was on on the video there, and that was super fun. So yes, I've got a lot of community support from that as well. And then with my media kit, I'm still working on it, but I'm planning to send that out once I've got my bee book illustrations done so I can finish everything. But then I just thought, what can I do in the park? And this is like way out of my comfort zone, but I do have a background in teaching. I'm quite comfortable with coaching and teaching and all that kind of stuff, but I want to set up Bee Education Day on World Bee Day. And it's in August, so it's great. So it's summer. So I'm going to somehow figure out how to do that locally and then get the local news to talk about it and sponsor it. And maybe somebody at the beekeeping group can help me with that. I don't know, but I'm trying to put it all together and see if I can do something like that.
Wonderful. I have a little idea for you too. There's a group, they call them book fairies. And when I was launching one of my books, I actually had a number of them that I would send a couple of books here, a couple of books there. And their job was to hide the books and make them available. And it was part of the buzz that we were going to create, bees and buzz. If you were doing something like that, you could coordinate it so that you're hiding things to build buzz about your book and your
I see.
copy of the book around, and you can give clues to where they could find it. And if you extend it to others, like outside of just your local area, then the buzz can go a lot bigger. Ask them to post a picture of them hiding it, and then they're going to take on posting clues and things. And then person that finds the book, inside it says that they need to read it, post something about it or whatever tag, use a hashtag, and then hide it again. So it keeps giving back. So think of fun things. I love that. Influencer outreach. Again, that's really just about connections. What are the hashtags that people are using? Are there influencers in your niche that you have a connection with, that you've been communicating with over the past months? Somebody that would be interested in maybe receiving a copy of your book to give away to their followers, somebody that shares an audience of your same basic people. If that's the case, then borrowing somebody else's audience goes a long way in getting you in front of your target audience when you're a new author yourself. Is anybody learning or doing anything with influencers? You think about your target audience is probably very similar to you. Who are the people that you follow, that you love? When something pops into your feed, you're like, oh my gosh, that person, I love her, or I love the way she does XYZ. And take a look at some of the hashtags that individual is using, because they're probably very relevant to your niche. And when you look up those hashtags, you'll find more of the same, right? So there is a little bit of research that can be done to help you uncover and find people that you can connect with. And hopefully that's just part of what you need to do as an author in building your platform. You can also work with other authors in your same niche and do a little bit of cross promotion. So I know there's probably 3 or 4 of my authors all have B books. So if I can connect them and you guys can do something where you're cross promoting each other, do a giveaway together, and you're all posting to your own audience, then you're going to get more exposure than you would with just your own. And the last thing here, we've got confirmed schedule events and promos. So if you've been scheduling with podcasters, bloggers, you've talked to folks to let them know that you're going to need a launch team, and they said yes, now's the time to remind them, pull them together. If there are influencers that have been following you and showing interest, just remind them when the book launches and just get everybody aligned. So let's go over to the ebook launch. Now, I've changed this. I was recommended 1 week before. Now I'm recommending that you launch your ebook 2 weeks before the print book. So 2 weeks before the print book, you're going to email reminders to your launch team here. The first week, instead of just going out with a free ebook, I'm recommending that you do a 99-cent book launch. The people that want to be on your book launch team, if you end up with 30 of them that are going to go and buy a 99-cent ebook to help you with your book launch, then that is going to help you shoot right to the top with your bestseller badge versus what a free ebook, 30 free ebook downloads are going to be, put you at the top of a free book list, but you don't get those bestseller badges for that. So my proposal is to move forward with a discounted book on your first week. Publish that ebook on Amazon. By the time you're moving here, your A+ content's already been set up. So all you need to do is just connect it to the book that launched. You're going to set up your author profiles. You can't do that ahead of time because you need to have a book to claim. So you're going to go onto your Amazon, you're going to go onto BookBub and Goodreads, and you're going to claim those author profiles. And then I also recommend, before you do much with Amazon ads, to take a look at BookBub and Goodreads ads. Find those books that are your competitors that when you think about it, you say, gee, if my book could come up when somebody buys Santa Claus is Coming to Town, if Bobby's book shows up there and it says also bought with, that drives more sales because people buy books more than one at a time typically. So in order to get that to happen, you can focus on ads on BookBub and Goodreads, and you can target those books that you want your book to be associated with. So by doing that and getting those running, that moves us to additional categories. By then, you will have had already found the categories. You'll be ready to enable the additional categories. So that takes just opening a ticket. The same place you go to create additional categories, you can also open a ticket and ask them to increase the look inside functionality. I don't know if you've ever gone into Amazon and clicked on a book and you find there's the cover, there's the title page, a dedication, and then there's the back cover. And I'm like, how do I even see anything about what the book is about? So in order for that not to just cut off like that, you have to go in and create that request, that open ticket for an increase in the look inside percentage. And then things like emails and social posts that you've already scheduled, they're probably going off, or you've got the things created and you're manually posting them. However that works, just continue to move forward and step up those efforts. Remember the power of ask. Don't just post and say, here's my book. Share, how excited you are. Share your passion, share your journey. And at the end of your share, ask people, please share this with on your social media. I don't know about you, but when I see a post that says, please share, I share, because why wouldn't I? But if somebody doesn't ask me, I don't automatically think to do it, right? So just don't be afraid to ask. Okay. The second week, I put here free stack promos. Use up all 5 of your free days. 1 or 2 days maybe is the Fussy Librarian. There's free Booksy, there's ebook soda, and a whole bunch of others. There's like 60 different sites. Just stack those free promos and make sure that you drive as much traffic to that listing as you possibly can. That is going to get more eyeballs on the book. It's going to get more downloads. It's going to get more sales, because when people grab the free ebook and they like what they see, they typically will move forward. A percentage of them are going to move forward and grab the paperback or the hardcover as well. So you're going to drive sales that way as well. And then you're going to monitor, take your screenshot when you see that number 1 bestseller badge, post reviews that come in, and remind your launch team members that, if they haven't posted, please post. When you're in week 2 and your print book is just around the corner, we want that to go live with already 20, 30, 50 reviews already there. And because those books are linked, then your book can actually have 50 reviews or more without ever having been launched yet, because the ebook has them and because the books are linked. So when people go there, they're not seeing 1 review, they're seeing however many you got during that 2-week period that you moved forward with. Now, I will say, if you don't have a really good plan and you're not planning to put all this effort into launch, then don't stagger your ebook and your print book. Just launch them at the same time, so that you're not just launching and then 2 weeks of nothing with a handful of sales, right? Because that just hurts your launch. But if you do this the way that we've been talking about and the way that we've been planning for, then that extra 2 weeks is going to give you a real nice lift when your paperback book goes live. Take pictures of reviews, post them on social media, put them on your website, and just keep reporting your progress. So here, report progress. Let your launch team know what's going on and how well you're doing. Hey, we're at number 3. What can we do to get to number 1? Go share it on social. If you haven't purchased or downloaded your free copy, go grab it now. Those kinds of things. Just keep rallying the troops. Have fun. I know it's hard because you're going to have stressors in a book launch, but do the best you can to have fun. Maybe a couple of you can even team up and launch together, support one another, and just share each other's and buddy up, because that can help take some stress out of it as well. And then once you've got that bestseller badge, I think it's genius to go and just pull a press release out and send it out on PR Wire and let people know that you, the debut author, has launched a book on Amazon and it is bestseller. And your local news, your local stations, you can get that out to them. And then if you're putting it in prwire.com, I think, is free to submit these kinds of press releases. And many of them will pick up stories, especially if they're local, and you'll get a little bit of extra attention. As part of the process that I walked you guys through of setting up Amazon, you're checking off that you want to be part of KDP Select, which gets you into Kindle Unlimited. And as part of that, you get 5 free days for that 90-day period. And usually after a launch, once the launch is over and it renews, I'm doing like a couple of promo days 1 month, a couple of promo days another month, and then the third month I might have one final promo day. So I can just keep my book out there and people seeing it. But book launch, stack the heck out of the promos that you can. I also have something called KDROI, which is a tool that I use. It's just a plugin from the same makers of KDSpy. And when I use it, I just go to my listing and I pull it up. It gives me an opportunity to submit that free promo to a couple dozen sites all in one click. I'm happy to do it for you. I think the tool was $35 or something like that. It was very inexpensive. So if you are going to be releasing multiple books, it's something that's well worth having it in your toolbox as an author, but it's very easy. So if you do a fussy librarian and you do a free Booksy and then maybe an ebook soda, you apply for BookBub and then you zap to a couple of dozen other sites using KDROI, that's going to get lots of eyeballs on your book. And I'm here to support your launch. That means when you're ready to launch, I've got a list of 8,000. It's not huge, but it's bigger than I had when I first started and launched my first book. So I'm happy to support your efforts. I will include it in my newsletter and support you in any way that I can. And that means pulling up KDROI. And if I know when your free day is, it takes less than 2 minutes to go through and submit it to dozens of sites, which is really helpful. And I'm happy to do that for you as well. Now we're at print book launch. We're going to continue building the hype, the buzz. Going to update the pricing. I like the idea of price promotions when you're launching a book. So if I said to you, my new self-publishing made simple book, I'm going to launch it at $9.99. And for 3 days, it will be available for $9.99. After the 3 days, it's going to go up to $16.99. If you have any idea that you're going to want that book, you're going to buy it in those first few days. Give them a reason to act. Another thing you might want to think about is, hey, for those that go and buy within my first week to this form on my website or go to this Google form and fill out your information, and I'm going to send you a book plate, something where I sign my name. And I'm going to mail it to you. You can put it in the book. So now you've got a signed author copy. And I'm going to add some little goodies in there, maybe some stickers or some other things, a note to your child, maybe a letter from Nature Ninja, right? So if you have those kind of things where you can give them incentives, a reason to act soon and to drive sales early on, that will help you to sell more books and get your print copy moving and get attention on that as well. So I usually do use price promotions, but it doesn't only mean that. You could do other things. And then you'll publish the paperback. Now I have a -3 days here in parentheses. And that means if you want it to go live on a Tuesday, which I believe is a very good day to launch, then you're going to want to publish it on a Friday because it takes maximum of 3 days. Amazon says 72 hours. It could be as little as 24 hours or 48 hours, but give yourself the 3 days. And if it's there a little bit early, call it a soft launch. The worst thing that can happen is launch day and your book's not available. And you've got everybody waiting to go buy it, and you told them it would be ready and it wasn't. So do the same thing with Ingram. Make sure that you give yourself that few days so that it can be enabled and on Amazon and available on Amazon and on the bookstores and other places so that it can be purchased. You can also increase your look inside for the paperback. So I've got these here. These are all check boxes. So when it comes time to launch your books, print this out and just go down the checklist and let me know if I missed anything or if anything is confusing when you go back to it. So you're also going to add the ASINs to your A+ content, because all you need to do is take the identifier that Amazon gives you and include that in your A+ content, and then it'll appear on that listing as well. Once you have 5+ reviews with verbiage, positive reviews with words, not just stars, then you can start running ads on your paperback. So if you don't have enough reviews, then I would wait until you have more reviews before you start running Amazon ads. Lots of communication, cross promotion, and I put 5+ authors. It would be really nice if you could team up with 5 other authors that are all in similar areas and you can support each other, share each other's stuff. That will exponentially increase your reach. I also mentioned here, go live on video. If I go live on my Facebook and you guys are following me, you're going to get a little flash that says April is live. And if I just upload a video, you're not going to get that. But it piques people's curiosity. Oh, I wonder what's going on with April. Let me go over and check it out. Or they'll go check it out later when they have time because they know something's going on and the video is still there on your timeline. So practice in our own group like you have been doing and plan to use live video to your benefit, and reels and whatever. Everything changes all the time with social media. So do what you can to just get yourself a little bit more exposure for you and for your book. Keep following up with your launch team. By this point, you're on week 3. If there's anybody that hasn't done what they promised, keep reminding them. Now's a good time to go tell your family to go start buying if they haven't had a chance or they haven't acted upon it either. And go take that marketing plan out and see what other things have you got on your list. Maybe for some of you, it's doing events. Maybe you're doing farmers markets or things like that. Start working through your marketing plan and executing on that. And last but not least, don't forget to party. Have a launch party, do some book signings, have fun. Even if all you do is get your launch team together for a little celebration over Zoom and thank them, maybe pull a few gift cards as a little giveaway, and just exhale and know that this was a huge accomplishment. Only 1% of the people that start to write a book ever finish it. And that's going to be you. You're going to get there. And if your book launch isn't everything you had hoped it would be, you're going to learn with every new book launch. It's not going to be perfect. Nothing ever is. But if you support one another and you reach out and you get the support from me and from others, it's going to be great and you will continue to get better. And the more you build your platform, the easier every subsequent book launch will be. So last but not least is what happens after the launch is over. Post-launch, don't forget to send a copy of your book to the Library of Congress. When you register for your Library of Congress control number and they send you that number by email, they'll have a note in that email, and sometimes people miss it, but it says, when your book launches, send us one of your best copies. In other words, if you're getting a paperback and you have a hardcover, they want you to send them the hardcover, but send it to the Library of Congress. So I'm just putting there as a reminder at the end. And then analyze, adjust, pivot if necessary, document your lessons learned while it's fresh in your mind, and then also submit to the Indie Author Project, which will get you into libraries. Also apply for some awards and just continue to drive traffic. Think of ways to sell more books. It could be the events. It could be other things you're doing. Do you know what the number one best way to sell more books is? Yes, right? More books. And the more books you have, and as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do to continue to build your platform, by the time you get to book 3, book 4, book 5, you're going to be able to just say to your people, hey, guess what? Launch team, you ready for another one? And by the way, guys, book number 4 in the series is coming out. It's going to get simpler. I know that Tanya, that has a lot of people with Nature Ninja, a lot of contacts. Like, it takes some of us a long time to build that, but I can definitely see that her launch is going to go a lot more simple than somebody who's brand new and doesn't have that following. So just make it a priority to keep writing, keep learning, and keep building your following. Even if we are introverts, we can still show up and be ourselves. And people like quirky, be who you are. And they'll know if you're not being authentic. So just be yourselves and serve, because then you're not selling, you're serving. And that's going to go a long way in how you feel about putting the book out there. All right. They're not all going to love your book. I hope they do. But you are not a true author until you get your first 1-star review. And so I want you to come back and celebrate that 1-star review, because that means you are a true author. And will just remember that I said that when you get your first one and you're like, what? What's going on? And then go back and look at some of your favorite authors and books that have made millions and go see how many 1-star reviews they have. Don't take it to heart. Like I said, I'm here to serve. That's how I show up every day, because I care about you guys and being there for you during this launch. And I'm loving every single meeting we have together, because I do get such pleasure out of being here. I know that there are some people that will go through a list like I just went through and be completely overwhelmed. And sometimes it can be paralyzing. And if you're feeling that way, that's okay. Reach out and let's chat. And maybe I can help you or get you some additional help to get over that hump. Thank you, everybody, for joining.